I won't be important soon.
3 College World Series in 4 years for you. Is this different, similar? Is it getting old hat? What's this like leaving from the College World Series?
It's just, we're really grateful that we get another opportunity. Everyone knows anything can happen in a softball game, so we're just really grateful that we came out of that super regional on top. And, we haven't won a national championship yet, so we really haven't reached our goal in my 4 years. So we're just ready to get that done.
Even though last year wasn't your first year, you guys had a lot of first-year participants in the World Series. How much different do you think it will be this time around, having so many more experienced people that have been out to OKC?
I think it really makes a big difference because when you get on that bigger stage, it is different than playing with your home crowd behind you or even playing at another Pac-12 school. So the more experience we get, the more used to that feeling we get, the more veterans we get, I think the more comfortable we are and the more we're able to just play our game.
Speaking of Pac-12 schools, you guys get UCLA first time around. I mean, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? How do you guys think?
I'm excited. I didn't get to play that series. I was hurt, so I'm excited to play them. And, they're great competitors. And I think, for me, if we win a national championship, I want to know that we beat the best teams in the country. And UCLA is definitely one of the best teams in the country. So I'm excited.
What are some of your biggest takeaways from last year that you guys can bring to hopefully bring home the victory?
I think each time we've gone to the World Series, last year was my second time, we just learned that it's difficult to win a national championship. It's difficult to beat those teams when the best 8 teams in the country are in one place at one time. It's a difficult tournament, but that's what makes it so great. So I think just knowing that going in and not being surprised.
Talking about beating the best, chances are high you'll see an SEC team at some point down there. You guys have had your issues with them in the past. What would be different maybe this time that might be able to get you over the hump?
Yeah, I think we're really firing right now, and I'm really excited to face an SEC team. I think that rivalry between Pac-12 and SEC is the best thing in college softball. So I'm really excited. I really hope we face one of them.
When you were being recruited by Oregon, did you think the program would be at this level where you're competing for the national championship every year?
At first, no, I did not. But it's the biggest blessing to walk into a program and be the #1 ranked team a few times in my career. So it definitely, back in my junior year in high school, Oregon softball was just starting to go to super regionals. So, yeah.
Do you take pride in being a big part of it? I mean, you own a lot of the records, and you've been to 3 World Series now.
I don't think any one person can take pride in taking a team to a certain level. I think it definitely had a lot to do with the coaching staffs over the past few years, and just the talent that's come in, and a great clubhouse. I think that's had a lot to do with it.
So many times this year, even back in March, April, people on this team, they've never shied away from the fact that the title is your goal. You guys have said that. A lot of programs would not want that even out there. You focus one game at a time. Why do you think Coach White lets you talk about that freely, lets the team? Does that do something for you guys?
I think that it gets us not scared of it. We have our long-term goal, but we also have our short-term goals. We are constantly reminding ourselves one game at a time, but we also like to acknowledge that there's an end goal. So I think that it's the balance between the short-term and long-term goals that keeps us grounded, but also looking ahead.
When you get into tournament play, pitching and defense become the frequently the deciding factors. Defensively, this team is much improved over what maybe 4 or 5 years ago that we had, but part of your makeup as well is just beating the heck out of the ball and scoring 15 runs. Well, that's probably not how you're going to win ball games this time. Are you able to make that switch, do you think, and what would be allowing you to do that?
Yeah, every time we've had closer games when we've expected to kind of beat teams by a lot of runs. It's just we like to remind ourselves like this is practice, because at the end of the season we're not going to have. I mean, we might mercy teams in the World Series, but we might not. And I think that, what's great about the World Series is that nobody is even thinking about batting average or stats or anything. It's just one at-bat at a time. This is the only at-bat that matters. I'm just trying to get on so that my team can score. So it's really selfless, and it's easy to just forget about what you did your last at-bat and just move forward.